Hi everyone, it's Miss Carla. I hope you guys are doing well. This is another segment of Classics for Carla. This is the last video of The Wizard of Oz. The next book we will be reading is Anne of Green Gables. And I'm excited for that because I've never read of Anne of Green Gables. I did read the graphic novel and it was super cute, so I am excited to read the full version. Last time we checked, we left off. The crew went through this town. People made up porcelain, so it was kind of scary for them to get through, but they needed to get through so they can go see Glinda, the Good Witch of the South. So we are in chapter 20, the country of the Quadlings. All right. The four travelers passed through the forest safely. When they came to the edge of the forest, they saw a steep hill covered from top to bottom with large pieces of rock. "This will be difficult to climb," said the Scarecrow, "but we must get over the hill." So he led the way and the others followed, and they had just reached the first rock when they heard a voice cry out, "Keep back!" And then from behind the rock stepped out the strangest man any of them had ever seen. He was short and stout, and he had a big head which was flat at the top and supported by a thick, wrinkled neck. He had no arms at all. The Scarecrow saw this and did not think that such a helpless creature could prevent them from climbing the hill. So he said, "I am sorry not to do as you ask, but we must pass over this hill whether you like it or not." As fast as lightning, the man's head shot forward and his neck stretched out until the flat part of his head hit the Scarecrow in the stomach and sent him falling over down the hill. Then the creature's head returned to the body and he laughed and said, "It's not as easy as you think." Of course, the laughter came from the other rocks, and Dorothy saw hundreds of the armless hammerheads on the hillside. I'm going to show you this picture because the description doesn't really give it justice. They realized that it was hopeless to attempt to fight these strange creatures. "Let's call the winged monkeys," said the Tin Man. So Dorothy put on the golden cap and said the magic words. In a few minutes, the monkeys stood before her. Dorothy ordered the king of the monkeys to carry them over the hill into the country of the Quadlings. At once, the monkeys picked them up and flew away with them. As they passed over the hill, the hammerheads yelled with anger and shot their heads high in the air, but they could not even come close to the winged monkeys. After they had set down in the country of the Quadlings, the king of the monkeys said goodbye to Dorothy and quickly flew away. The country of the Quadlings was rich and happy. The fields were full of wheat, and there were pretty rippling brooks and well-paved roads. The houses were all painted red, and the Quadlings were short and fat and looked chubby and happy. They dressed all in red, which contrasted with the green grass and yellow grain. The monkeys set them down near a farmhouse, and the four travelers walked up to it and knocked on the door. It was opened by a farmer. When Dorothy asked for something to eat, the woman gave them all a good dinner with 3 kinds of cakes and 4 kinds of biscuits and a bowl of milk for Toto. "How far is it to the castle of Glinda?" asked Dorothy. "It is not far," answered the farmer. "Take the road to the south and you will find it." They thanked the woman and walked until they saw a very beautiful castle. 3 young girls stood in front of the gates, and one of them said to Dorothy, "Why have you come to the South Country?" "To see the Good Witch," she answered, and the girl asked them to wait a moment and went inside the castle to tell Glinda they had come. Chapter 21. Glinda grants Dorothy's wish. After a few moments, the girl came back to say to Dorothy that the others were to be admitted to the castle at once. Before they went to see Glinda, they were taken to a room where they washed and fixed themselves up. When they were all quite presentable, they followed the girl into a big room where the witch Glinda sat upon a throne of rubies. She was a beautiful witch. Her hair was a rich red and fell in curls and waves over her shoulders. Her dress was pure white, but her eyes were blue and they looked kindly upon Dorothy. "What can I do for you, my child?" she asked. Dorothy told the witch her long story, and she left nothing out. She talked for a long time. "My greatest wish now," she added, "is to get back to Kansas, for Aunt Em must be very worried." And Glinda leaned forward and kissed Dorothy's face. Bless your dear heart, she said. I am sure I can tell you how to return to Kansas, but if I do, you must give me the golden cap. Of course, said Dorothy. It is of no use to me now, and when you have it, you may command the winged monkeys 3 times. Glinda smiled knowingly, and Dorothy handed her the golden cap. She returned to Scarecrow and asked, what will you do when Dorothy has gone back to Kansas? I will return to the Emerald City and be the ruler there, he answered. Then Glinda asked the Tin Man and the Lion where they would go after Dorothy had returned home. The Tin Man thought for a moment and answered that he wished to return to the land of the Winkies, and the Lion wanted to go back to his forest and be king of the beasts. Glinda knew that the journey back to these places would be long and difficult, so she explained that she would use the power of the golden cap to grant the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion their wishes. The winged monkeys would carry them safely to their destinations. The Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion thanked the Good Witch for her kindness. Then Dorothy said, you are certainly as good as you are beautiful, but you have not told me how to get back to Kansas. Your silver shoes will carry you over the desert, answered Glinda. If you had only known their power, you could have gone back to your Aunt Em the very first day you came to this country. But then I would not have gotten my wonderful brains, cried the Scarecrow, and I would have not received my kind heart, said the Tin Man. I might have stood rusted in the forest forever. And I would have always been a coward, said the Lion, and no beast in all the forest would have a good word to say about me. This is all true, said Dorothy, and I am glad I could help my friends, but now that they have got their wishes and are happy, I think I would like to return to my home in Kansas. The silver shoes will have wonderful powers. They will take you any place in the world in just 3 steps. All you have to do is knock the heels together 3 times and command the shoes to carry you wherever you wish to go, explained Glinda. If that is so, said Dorothy, I will ask them to carry me back to Kansas. And she kissed the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow goodbye, and they all cried and hugged her tightly. Glinda stepped down from her throne and kissed Dorothy goodbye, and Dorothy thanked her for her kindness. Then Dorothy took Toto in her arms, said one last goodbye to her friends, and clapped the heels of her shoes together 3 times and said, take me home to Kansas. In a few seconds, she was whirling through the air so fast that all she could see or feel was the wind whistling past her ears. Chapter 22, Home Again. Aunt Em had just come out of the house to water the cabbages when she looked up and saw Dorothy running toward her. My darling child, she cried as she held Dorothy in her arms and covered her face with kisses. Where in the world did you come from? From the land of Oz, said Dorothy, and here's Toto too. And Aunt Em, I am so happy to be home again. And that's the end of the book, guys. So I'm glad you guys came on this adventure with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, the next book we will read is Anne of Green Gables. So I will see you then. All right, bye guys.